Thousands of children are missing every day all around the world. Parents never lose their hope. Cases of kids who were found after as long as 70 years give them even more hope to eventually reunite with their children. And today, with my co-host Julia, we are going to
Hello.
talk about those children. And I don't know why I'm so cheerful, because it's not the most cheerful subject, but the kids were found, right? So
Yeah.
it's good. And they were found alive. So it's a lot of hope, and we're going to talk about it. But first,
Yeah.
I want to ask Julia what she has in her neck, something funky.
Oh, it's not that funky, but it's for the theme, I guess. It's a skull from 19th century. And the little
Oh,
pendant here, yes, the little pendant here is the pressed butterfly wings, also from 19th
real
century.
butterfly wings?
Yes, yes, yes.
About skull?
Yeah.
Is it real? Is it like
No,
shrink
it's
head?
not real.
No?
It's shrink. Yeah, shrink. No, but I actually like this theme very much. It's like Victorian memorial themes and everything that a little bit connects to a darker side, as
Yeah.
I guess everybody already guessed because of a lot of themes that we have based on true crimes event and other horrible things. But I can tell you
And we
that
like
based
it
on some,
darker.
yeah, but based on some statistics, it's 22,000 kids a day missing all around
22,000.
the world. Yeah, all around the world, and around 8 million kids missing every year all around the world.
It's
It is
insane.
dreadful. It's
Yeah.
insane, and when you think about this numbers, it feels unreal. Feels absolutely insane.
Like it's impossible, right? How is it even
Yeah,
impossible?
I
Yeah,
don't
but
know.
it is. And it's not only like you would probably maybe not expect, but kind of like understand if kids are missing in the more less developed countries, right? Because they're like unsupervised, they're going somewhere, and they're being snatched for all kind of purposes. But the same
Mm,
happens in very, very
yes.
developed countries like America
Well,
all
yeah,
the time. Hmm.
based
Hmm.
on the statistics that I
You're
have,
a
it is,
statistic girl today. Okay,
yeah, it is
awesome.
400, and it's 420,000 kids missing every year in USA, and
That's like
42,000, yes, and 42,000 kids missing in Canada. So it's two 2,500,000 kids missing in Europe, like in total every
anything
year.
but
I don't know
Russia.
if I don't know the statistics isn't it doesn't show here, but I guess that it's around the same numbers, because we have a very large country, and it is impossible for our country not to be in the statistics, like on the very high, on like in top 3 or top 5. I think it is dreadful, it is awful when you think about every missing person, not just a kid. It is big stress to a family, and people always wait for them to return. And when it's a kid, when you really don't know how to live without him, it's
Yeah,
unimaginable. Yeah.
the life is basically over. But I remember in our younger days, um,
Oh yeah.
we were outside all the time, no supervision of any kind. And the cases that I don't know anyone, who went missing. Like, do you know personally? No one
No.
went ever missing, and we didn't have so many. I understand that's internet and everything, but still, when kids went missing in those days, it became like national news. It became crazy news. Right now, it's so many kids are missing, so many cases, it doesn't even become news anymore unless the kids are found, right? And no one is going to let kids to go outside now without supervision. You will
I
have to
don't know
watch your
if
kid every 2 seconds.
Yes, I don't know if this number actually increased by the year and increases every year. I don't know about that, but it feels like it does, because it feels like we had so much freedom when we were kids,
Yeah,
that it was like we were asking for trouble. But I don't remember any person that I would feel threatened by when I was a kid. When I was, walking outside, I could freely ask for, help from stranger, and I wouldn't think that the stranger might have killed me. And when I was a kid, it was 90s. And 90s in Russia, as I think,
Yeah.
we're not that
Fun
like
years.
cheerful years. Yes, there were a lot of crime elements around the cities, and gangs and everything. But have you heard this golden years for serial killers and maniacs?
Hmm. No. What are this? You're
Mm.
truly a statistic girl today. Well, God, well, you guys getting our
Ah,
a lot of information today that
yeah,
you
a
didn't
lot of
know. And
information.
a lot of
I
numbers. I love that.
I think it was from 60s or 70s up until
Hmm.
like 80s or something like
Where? In
this.
what country?
It was in if it's FBI, it's USA, of course. It's
Okay, so
US.
it's like basically USA. Okay.
Yeah, but you know what? We had in USSR, we also had the serial killers, but I don't think that people from USSR actually were that thrilled about this thing. So our statistic didn't show it that time. We can find it right now because, of course, Google, internet.
Right.
But
Right.
yeah, so there was not that maniac hysteria here in Russia. So maybe we had a lot of them. We just don't know how many. We don't know
Yeah.
even police, if even if police actually um, put the numbers and actually name them serial killers or maniacs or
Yeah. It
serial
wasn't a which probably
kidnappers.
even a term, right? Probably
Yeah,
like.
yeah.
Well, we had
Hmm.
one famous, but we're not talking about serial killers today because we're
Oh
talking
no.
about just insane, narcissistic psychopath who just wanted to have a little pet, a human pet in their
Yeah.
basement. And we have, why is it originated in America or just more popular in America? Because we do have basements here, up north, and not a lot of countries have this kind of housing structure, right? And
Well,
in
In Russia, you have
isolated
base.
houses.
Yeah, in Russia, you have basements, but it's more in some villages or in the country
Yes,
houses. So
and they're
yeah,
like
it's
small,
not.
like yeah, it's
Yeah.
not the same, not the same. Like here, it's the whole house underneath of the big house. Its basement is like another, living facility. You can do basically
Mhm.
anything there, and no one is going to know what's going on there in the basement. It's
Here we have
quiet, it's
basements.
big.
Yeah, we have basements here too, of course, but it's for people who work for the house. They do something here, like electricity and everything. So it's not for just the person who lives in the house. They don't have
Yeah,
access
yeah.
there. Yeah.
You cannot just like live there unless it's a small place.
I know that
Подвал,
you have
right?
this.
Подвал.
Yeah, yeah. I know that
Погреб,
you have
погреб.
this pogreb. That's in in country houses.
Yeah.
Подвал. It's in actually the big houses.
Do you
Yeah,
have
but
подвал in your dacha? At your dacha?
yes, of course. Yes,
Да?
of
Да?
course. Yes, yes.
Чего там? What do you say? What do you keep there?
Apart from bodies,
Yes. Anything
just
else?
something, a lot of
Bodies
things
of
to
your
eat.
lovers.
Yeah, a lot of
That's
things
where
to
they
eat and to drink,
that's where they live.
just
You know
like
that I
everyone else.
that I wrote a book about the
I
child
know that
who
I know
escaped
that you
in the
yeah, I
basement.
know that you have
I have a book about
yes. I
everything.
know that you have, just about everything. That in your houses, in a big like apartment complexes, you have this. You don't have washing machines in the unit, and you have to go downstairs, like in the basement or something like this, to use it.
North, yeah, north, yes, but in Florida we don't have basements. It's a
Mm-hmm.
different ground. You can't really have a basement here. But
Mm.
so we have everything inside the house. But yes, up north, like for example Ohio, they do have washing machine and a lot of stuff. It's a storage. They
Yeah,
celebrate doing parties there. There are like guest rooms, everything in their
and
basements.
kidnap kids.
And kidnap kids, yes. And by the way, why we started talking about it, and remember I told you about this little story that just originated on this very famous platform that was used to be Chinese. I don't want to
Mm-hmm.
name it. um so, and I'm going to tell you how the story ended. So the
Okay.
people were driving past the house in Illinois, I think it was, and the house was isolated. The windows are covered, blocked with wooden boards, like completely empty house. And on the top of the house there was light. There was blinking SOS signal, and it's like 3, 2, something like that. I don't remember. I don't know
Hmm.
there's Morse language. So the people drew by, they posted it on the platform. There was thousands of comments to the point that, the police actually went there. They went walked around the house. They didn't find anything. They didn't go inside. So the information got to the owner of that house. So he actually took his daughter and they went to that house, and the daughter
Hmm.
was shooting all the way, and they were showing, you know, opening the doors. They never stopped the camera, showing that, no one is kept there, just an empty old house. There are no furniture, nothing. And it was just, the light
Hmm.
was solar operated, and it was like dying or something, It was, and there was people while they were walking around the house, some other
Hmm.
people came in who watched that house on that platform, and they're like, hi, who are you, what are you doing here? And he's like, oh, I'm the owner of the house, I'm just want to show that, I didn't kidnap anyone. No one lives here, no one is kept captive here. So anyway, but
Okay.
it's a good story, a good ending. It shows the popularity of the platform and how people are, you know, it's a big community and how people can help each other
Yeah.
if they want to. But there's always people
Hmm.
who really are kept in those basements and they cannot find a way out. But we're going to talk about a few cases, and there's very famous Cleveland kidnapping where three of the victims who were kidnapped were able to escape because one of them managed to break the window and scream for help, and the neighbor walked by, by luck, and he actually saved them. He called the police and everything. But let's talk about this case. And
Yeah.
the kidnapper name was Ariel Castro. He became very famous after doing this and arrested, of course, and everything. He kidnapped his victims separately. The victims were 14, 16, and 21. And he held them in his basement, chained. And obviously, he did all kinds of things to them. And
Yeah.
one of them burst a child. And the child actually went outside from time to time. The neighbors saw him. They suspected nothing, absolutely nothing, that anything was strange was going on in that house. So
How can it possibly be? I always wonder, how can this possibly be?
that was not in is an isolated house, so obviously the neighbors were nearby. The kids were called there for how long? 2013 they were found. I don't remember, I didn't find how many years they were held, but it
I
was a
think
bunch
it
of
was
years.
between 2002 and 2004 or something like this. He
And they
kidnapped
were
kids.
so about
Yeah,
10 years,
they,
about 10 years.
yeah, some
So
not too long.
no one suspected anything.
Yeah,
Like, I think that first thing that comes to my mind, people just don't expect. People just don't expect
that's
that somebody,
true.
their neighbor, could possibly hold, anyone prisoner, let alone three young girls, basically
Yeah,
children.
I look at his photo and he doesn't seem like a cuckoo or dangerous person. He
Yeah,
seems like an ordinary guy.
absolutely.
So
That's what
yeah, I think you
the
wouldn't
comments
expect
were.
anything from him. Yes.
Yeah, and that's if they saw this little boy, okay, it's my, niece's son or
Yeah.
whatever, right?
Yeah.
There's always an explanation. Came to play at the house, came to visit us. And that's it. You would never think that somebody could possibly do something like that. And this poor girls, and it's such a, for their parents, it's the best day possible, the worst day possible when they were disappeared. The kids are disappeared, and the best day possible when they were found,
Yeah.
no matter what
You know,
condition. But mhm.
I'm reading about him and in the Wikipedia, and it's disgusting actually to even read this thing. Like, his parents divorced when he was a child. He moved to Pennsylvania and lived with his mother and three siblings. And the point that he had nine siblings,
Mm-hmm.
both full and half. And that means that he was around kids, boys and girls. And it wasn't like he was separated from them and he didn't know what to do with them, or like he saw a
Yeah.
child and, he had them in a very close proximity, and he knew that they're not developed human beings. These people, they don't have empathy at all. And the
No.
point that Wikipedia actually wrote that Castro was a devoted Catholic, it's like, it's a disgrace for this
Yeah,
particular
for the whole
website.
religion. Yeah.
It's not for religion, it
Yeah.
is for a people who actually writing, things like that. It doesn't matter who he was, devoted Catholic or Muslim or Buddha or whatever. He was just
Yeah.
a maniac. He was bad.
To say the least. And
Yeah.
I mean, what did he expect if the kids weren't found, right? The girls weren't found, they weren't
Yeah.
kids when they were found. What did he think was going to happen, right? Like, would he kidnap another victim? Would he keep them until he died? And then what happened, to these people?
I think he wasn't thinking clearly, because it also written that was he was actually physically assaulted when he was a kid. He was assaulted
No
by his
excuse, though.
no excuse, but
No
he was
excuse at
assaulted
all, yeah.
by his neighbor and also by his uncle. And it feels like they were not actually found out in time. So maybe he thought that it is a lesson learned, that nobody would notice, and he will live freely as he is, doing whatever he was doing. I don't know.
It's crazy to think about. It's a lot of obviously abused kids in the world, and there's a lot of shows about it. And they, the hostess and the guests, they talk about how kids overcame, their abuse, and how did they become normal adults who didn't want to do any harm to other people. So how kids from abused kids go in these two different directions, right? Some
It's a
who became normal adults and they don't want to do any harm, so they're actually afraid to harm anyone because they think, oh, they're gonna feel the same as I do, right? And
I
others who thinks others should suffer.
Yeah, I think it's a broken mentality, and people who actually, choose this way of living, maybe they have anger issues, maybe they have something else, maybe they don't seem to understand that this is bad, but it's no excuse at all. We're not saying that this can actually absolve him of his crimes and whatever horrendous things he did.
I
No,
don't even
he
know
was.
it should be mentioned because when it's mentioned, I think people are trying. People try to find some sympathy, right, towards them, right? Empathy, sympathy, like, okay,
I
try
don't
to
feel any.
understand where it comes from, right? But
Yeah, but I don't feel any.
it
I
doesn't
don't
matter.
feel any.
Yeah,
Mm-mm.
yeah, me neither.
I can
No.
feel I can feel empathy for a child, but not for grown ass man who was arrested at the age of 52, and his whole
Yeah.
actual grown adult life he was doing bad things to other kids.
Yeah, and just living normal life. He
Yeah.
thought that it was normal for girls to be in the basement chained, right? Never see
Yeah.
a light, and be abused and tortured. And he would just go outside and have his life, enjoy the sunlight, good food, communication with other people, go to work, travel. Maybe I probably he never traveled, but like communicate with them, with his neighbors and stuff like that. At the same time, on the back of
Well,
his mind, it be always, so I have those kids, I'm going back and gonna do whatever I want with them, double life like
yeah.
that.
I mean, he was actually arrested before, prior to this, two other things. He was actually he had unpaid real estate taxes and everything. So I guess that this person had this mentality of doing something bad just because he could.
Yeah, and it will go away. Yeah, but
Yeah.
the real estate taxes and kidnapped children. But yeah, when kids people do something, bad, it's bad. There's he didn't even try to do like every other thing, proper, so he will not draw any attention to himself, right? But let's
Mm-hmm.
talk about this very recent case in Alabama, uh, which didn't connect it to one person who would be like try to find an excuse like he was abused or something.
Mm.
So 10 kids, they found 10 kids in a bunker from age 3 to age 15. People who held them there were their parents and their relatives. I think it's about 4 people. It's not one person who could be, oh, that person was abused. It's 4 people with different history, right? With different childhood, but they
So in
somehow
six, it's six people
six
actually.
six people.
Yeah.
Okay, 6 people. It was I remember it was 4 when I found out about it. So I guess it's 6, and even the more the merrier. Like it's some of them were probably had very normal childhood, right? They couldn't be all of them being abused in the childhood, and that's why it happens. No, but these people, 6 people, they somehow decided that it's acceptable to have their
Yeah.
own kids, their
On
own
sale.
family to
Yeah, on
sell, yeah,
sale. That's
for
awful.
sexual pleasure of others, for torture. The actual some kids were tortured for fun. I just Some kids were 3, as young as 3 years old. I I can't imagine. I don't want to imagine it. I can talk about it, but I don't want to go with my thoughts, with my mind eye into that world and actually imagine what was happening
And
because
again,
it's absolutely monstrous.
it is a small town, and they had neighbors. Nobody suspected anything.
That's their
I'm
own
not
kids.
blaming.
Just
I'm
yeah.
not blaming anyone, but it shows how very unattentive we are.
Mm-hmm.
Like we hear voices, we hear strange noises, we see people with scratches and bruises, and we have thoughts that, oh my god, this is not our business, we don't want to insert ourselves into this. It is
It's
awful
like Derry.
because
It's like Derry by Stephen King when no
yes,
one cares about anyone. Even though
yes,
they
it
say
is
that
precise.
in small towns they know everything about each other and like help each other and everything. But these
Yes.
situations show that not really. About the neighbors, like yeah, the ignoration of people nowadays, and nowadays just and Stephen King connection. Like yeah, it's our life. We're not sticking our noses in anywhere, even though I don't know if they saw the kids or kids like were missing and they're like, my neighbor's kids are missing. I never see them. What happened to them?
Well,
Or
I see, I look at the photo of this of this, I don't even know, this concrete structure. I can say that it's a house even, where they allegedly were kept.
they said bunker,
And
I don't know.
well, it's something off. It's not a bunker per se, but something not house, not very housey, something
Mm-hmm.
not very livable.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe it was a little outside of the area where people wouldn't want to go in or something like this. I don't know, but it does look awful, and it does look very empty, like a house with ghosts or something like this. So yeah.
Like with the kids, like how do like the youngest kids, the 3 years old, they probably maybe won't even remember, right? Things
Mm-hmm.
they probably are physically damaged, I can imagine,
Yeah, they are.
because they're
Yeah.
3 and you can't not be physically damaged if people doing things to you at this age. But maybe psychologically they can overgrow it and forget because they're very young. But kids who are 15 and not just were they subject to this doings, but they also saw their siblings, their relatives to be tortured and abused and all of that. It's
Do you know?
impossible to overcome it.
Yeah. Do you remember those cases where kids who grew up in this situations, the older kids got, so damaged that they actually also tortured the younger kids, not in this particular case but in some others. And it feels like they don't see any other normality, and this is even more even scarier than
Yeah.
all the other thoughts, because when you watch movies like Chainsaw, Texas Chainsaw, or whatever, like, that this is just a very odd, very horror movie. Yes, based on real events, but not so much, like not with those details and everything. But the whole families can get themselves into this horrible cycle of violence, and
Yeah.
they don't know how to live any other way.
Yeah. You know, that's the singer, Shannar O'Connor,
Hmm.
um, the bold singer. She
Yeah.
actually was very like abused and tortured in horrible ways by her mother. I mean, she wasn't kidnapped, she wasn't a bunker, but I just remembered about her, and how even people become famous after these situations like this, and
Yeah,
they
but she
have
was really
beautiful life.
damaged.
She was, but they're still very, very
Yeah,
damaged. Yeah, and
she didn't
they
get over
cannot.
that.
hmm Even
Hmm.
yeah. So it's really leaves a heavy track on your mind. I guess those situations. I don't know how not. So how do you like we get somebody like says something bad to us, right?
Yeah,
It hurts
well,
our
about
feelings, and we
families.
think about it all the time. Yeah.
About families, sometimes we
Mm-hmm.
live in this 24-hour horror, and families, even when just one person is actual evil, they become entangled in everything, and help this evil person. Like, we had this person, Alexander Spisivtsev. He
Mm-hmm.
was serial killer and PDF and everything of the sorts, and his own mother helped him kidnap little kids from the streets and get those kids to his pleasure, I guess. And this is if you will Google his face, he doesn't look normal at all. And his mother, she looks even worse because of everything. She was this very old woman, you know, this frail woman who would ask a kid to help to take her
Бабушка.
bags.
Добрая
Babushka.
бабушка. Kind бабушка.
Yes, to take her bags and to help her move them to her apartment. And those kids, sometimes they were just a street kids, sometimes they actually were kids from the normal families, well, full families and everything. They were going from school, and they just got entangled in this horrible thing because
What
of the
year was that?
kindness of their heart. This was like this whole his whole story is from 70s to the modern times, but actually it was 1988 when he was
Mm,
first, I think, first when he first went to psychic ward because of the killing of his girlfriend, I think,
mm-hmm.
or something like this. I don't remember. But he actually had a previous encounters with law before he
Okay,
started
so
this.
he already
Before,
committed a murder.
yes, before
Mm-hmm.
before he started this horrible spree,
And so they released him from the
kidnapping
psych ward.
Yes, yes.
Mm-hmm.
uh so in 1991 he met his girlfriend Evgenia Guselnikova, and I think that after some time he became very anxious. He beat her up, of course. She tried to escape him. She tried to forget about him, but he kidnapped her. He kept her in his apartment,
Mm-hmm.
and he actually tortured her for about a month,
Mm-hmm.
and she died after this. And the really bad thing about this, that he was not he was not closed for life. he was not jailed for life. He
Yeah.
actually got free after this. And in
Oh my God.
1996, so 5 years after this thing with his girlfriend,
Mm-hmm.
uh, police actually found kids kids bodies and fragments of bodies and everything. So he was actually jailed in 1998.
Mm-hmm.
And based on just some, fragments of bodies and everything, uh, it is not it's not proven yet that he might have killed 82 kids, 82 people.
Jesus.
Yeah,
Jesus
not
Christ.
not just kids, but 82 people.
Yeah, no,
But yeah, but
doesn't
actually,
matter.
yeah, it's proven to be 20 as of now.
They
So
just found fragments and they don't know what exactly how many people they belongs because they're separated probably. Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, it's crazy and no one also didn't suspect, no one suspected
the
anything. That's
problem the problem here is that it was in apartment complex. It's not a
it's
standalone
even more
house.
difficult. It's even, yeah, an
They
apartment complex. How did you bring it
neighbors
yourself?
neighbors smelled r- really bad odor that came from his apartment. They actually made some complaints about it, but he was found, you know not because police actually knocked at the door and they tried to arrest him. No, it was something with the water damage or something like this. I don't remember. You can Google it also. So it was a momentum. It was not like he was looked like everybody was looking for him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
when they found him, they found three girls. Both the two of the girls were 13 and one was 15. His last victims. Um,
Well, you think about the apartments. Well, it was Russia, right? It's our apartments are Soviet Union apartments. They're not big.
they're not
They're
big.
not big, and there's other apartments next to it. So basically, like literally, they share walls. Also, I don't know what store he lived on. It's probably not very high floor, right? So they're balconies. It's
They're
very difficult to
It's
do
very
that kind of
difficult. It's
crime.
very difficult. It's very
To
odd.
carry
But
people upstairs.
I think that he was turning his TV on very, very high. For like it was nosy. It was noisy in his apartment, I guess. So people didn't know what was happening in there. He had also a big dog, and this big dog was also a fright element for neighbors and for his victims. So this particular story is really horrible because he was not even planning on letting them leave. He was planning on torturing them and murdering them after this.
Right,
So
right.
he wasn't, actually planning to have sort of a harem, or to have slaves of some sort.
Or
No,
secret family, yeah, that he
no,
tortures. No.
his intentions were pretty clear, and they were very, very violent.
I wonder how he like did he carry them in a bag? Like I mean, there's like entrances outside, like people can see you from the balcony. There's babushkas who sit on the benches, right? There are cars drive. Like it's not easy. It had to be something separate. I remember there were like we had like two stories houses, like old, very old structures, and they never were in good conditions. The water was dripping, those two-story houses in some cities we had. And we
Hmm.
never had that in my city, but I saw it on TV. And those are like, they had like two main entrances and not too many people. Maybe it was one of those. Then you kind of can imagine, but you cannot imagine like high riser, like 9 stories or 5 floors, right?
The
To
point
have this
is
kind
that
of
he
situation.
had his help. His mother helped him. She was not just helping him to lure his victims into the
Yeah.
apartment. She was
They live,
actually,
did she live here? And I mean, it's the
yes,
same apartment. Oh,
yes,
Jesus
yes,
freaking
yes,
Christ.
and
Oh my God.
she actually helped him bury them.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
it was not he was not alone in this, and his family, he actually had even one more family member. It's a sister. She's not jailed, she was not arrested, but people who actually read about this case think that she was pretty much involved in this too.
Mm-hmm. It
His
was
mother
post.
told
Yeah.
everyone his mother told everyone that she was really scared of him, that he was a very violent person, but after all, she had legs, mouth. She could go to police. She could claim that he was doing something bad, but she didn't. She actually decided to help him. That was her free. It was her free will to do so. So I don't have any sympathy for her too.
No, no, absolutely not. And there was like that was constant some kind of movements down from inside apartment, outside of. It's a lot of people to
Yeah,
get in and out to bury. Like it's impossible to not notice carrying something out of the house. They chopped it and carried it in
yeah.
little pieces, but when the person was alive, it had to be somehow. I don't, maybe they lured the 82 people to just lure in the apartment to work voluntarily. It doesn't make
Well,
sense.
it's proven
It doesn't
20.
even
It's
make
proven,
sense.
yeah, it's proven 20, and also they
Yeah,
have this probable victims. But
yeah,
I think that when people don't want to see something, they will not see anything. It is a
yeah.
problem
It's
of
true.
our society, not
It's
here in
true.
Russia, but all around the world, that
Hmm.
we just want to be left alone. We don't want to help anyone. If you remember in America, I think they had this case of a girl who was screaming and yelling for help, and she was just near her house, and she was yelling for help from her neighbors. Nobody actually opened the door, and she was murdered. Like
Yeah,
yeah, and everyone later on said that they heard noises, yes, they heard voices. But this is the problem that we deal with, because
yeah.
you remember, if you get attacked on the street, you don't yell for help, you say fire, fire, fire. So everyone else feels threatened by this thing and would come out and save you.
Or just just tell someone, like I read in one book, just look at someone directly and tell that person, call the police. Like tell that person exactly what to do when they're
Yeah,
shooting a video, because now everyone is shooting a video. The person fell on the
yeah,
street and then dying, and there's somebody's killing someone. They're shooting a video instead of
yeah.
helping.
We had this teacher when I was at school. She told us the story when she had this encounter with, we don't know who it was. Maybe he was just a hooligan, or maybe he was a really bad person. They She entered a lift with him in her apartment complex, and he actually started to intimidate her. Like, she told everyone that he wanted to assault her,
Hmm.
and she actually started to bark at him. She just started to bark at him, and it was a moment of his not understanding what's going on, and the lift, it stopped, and she just ran away. This is the
Hmm.
moment that you but nobody knows how everyone would react. But yeah, you really have to do something, really something that nobody expects you to do. But
Yeah.
when we have cases like when people actually kidnap a kid or a person from the street, they just take it, put it in the van or in the car, and just, what are you going to do then? Like, how can we be saved then?
I don't think we can. Um, they had a psychological experiment. They have a lot of psychological experiments now that they
Mm-hmm.
shoot on video. It teaches people that everything you see in the street can be not true, right? But
Mm-hmm.
they had the psychological experiments where they would be pretend that they're kidnapping a kid, and the kid would be screaming and everything, and they wanted to see people's reaction, right? Would they help the
Mm-hmm.
kid? No. Some people, yes, they try to actually, but most of the people ran, turn around or turn the blind eye. But there were some people who tried to help and save the kid, but it took a few attempts before that
Mm-hmm.
person would be found. People are scared. People don't want to get involved. People don't know if there's like a family situation that would look stupid. There's a lot of reasons why people are not getting involved, but most of them, I think they just don't want to. They just don't want to.
Hmm.
That's what I think.
Like
But we're
yeah,
going in
like
different direction, of course.
yeah, like we were talking about this JC Lee Dugard that
Mm-hmm.
actually was kidnapped from the street, and there was there was a person who saw her being kidnapped, and like this is always, it bugs me every time when I hear it. Like a person saw the abduction
Yeah,
in process.
yeah. A child, 11 years old girl.
Not just one person, her stepfather, some other people, and some of the classmates. And I think that they described it like the car stopped nearby, two people, man and a woman, they just grabbed a girl and drive away.
So it was
uh
just fast. It was just fast. Those people were not even afraid
yeah,
that there's other people around. Crazy.
yeah, and the stepfather, he actually tried to catch them on a bicycle, but of course it's not
Yeah,
humanly possible. Yeah, because they were on the car. So
yeah. Those people were like absolutely obnoxious. Like no one is gonna stop them. It was just opportunity crime, as they call it, right? But
yes,
it was an opportunity crime with other people.
yes, I mean they were not scared at all
Mm-mm.
about people, of people who was actually, witnessing everything. That they could describe the car, they could describe their faces, nothing scared them, they just did what they wanted to.
Yeah, and they held this girl for years, for like 18 years, right? In their backyard, literally in a backyard
Yeah,
in a tent. And that
yeah,
girl gave birth to two children.
that's
And
awful.
again, no one suspected anything. No one
Yeah,
let authorities know that, there's children in the backyard. Um, and 18
I
years of her life.
yes, and it is always, a surprise for me that it was not just a man involved this, but also a woman
Yeah,
involved in this.
also a woman.
She
And
was,
you would think,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, she also did it like the mother of Spisivtsev. She did it on her, that was her free will to do so. She was not forced. I cannot believe that when people saying something like this, I was forced to do that, and that's why I waited 18 years to tell anyone that we had girl in the basement. It's not
Who actually
possible.
gave birth, was pregnant
Yeah,
twice
yeah,
and gave
yeah,
birth to two
yeah.
children. There's a lot of women involved in this kind of situation. They help their men, and they always explain it somehow that the man was horrible and everything. It was easy to go to the police. It was easy. You had that opportunity. It was easy not to kidnap the child. you know Much more easier than keep that child for 18 years in your backyard so no one would know about it. They keep it a secret. um, you chose it. That
Yeah,
was your choice.
and only thanks to a neighbor who actually wrote and called the police and tell them that, told them that he saw some tents in the backyard, and he described this person like a pervert.
Yeah, kudos to that
That,
neighbor who had some
yeah,
consciousness and
yes, yes.
decided that, okay, maybe I will look like an idiot. Maybe there's nothing going on, but at least they will check on it. So it's
That's the
good
problem.
that.
We always scared to look like an idiots.
Yes, yes.
And we always, it's
Upset
always like,
someone.
it's very uneasy feeling. Do I insert myself into this? Do I not? Will I be, called for? Will I be, you know, will everyone thinks that I'm just a crazy person who doesn't have their personal life to get involved into this
Yeah,
particular situation or not? This is awful. This is completely inhuman. But
yeah.
humans do that. Yeah.
So it's kudos to that person who actually, from the platform, who actually posted it on the platform about this house, abandoned house, and
Yeah.
the blinking light. Yeah, people probably were disappointed there was nothing there. Actually, it was an empty house, but they checked at least. Maybe
Yeah.
this house is empty and nothing is going on there, but maybe it will prompt another person who will see a situation like this to do the same, and maybe that house will actually have some, issues, and maybe somebody will be saved. So maybe that video, that, that house, that it brought nothing. People were worried about, you know, about
Hmm.
a situation that was clearly not a dangerous case. But in some, maybe it will help other people. Okay, it's okay. He looks kind of stupid now for worrying about that empty house, but it's okay to be stupid. And maybe I will tell about this house that I see every day with blinking light, and it will help some people. Hopefully, it will be more cases like that. But also, it's indirect situation. Like that person didn't have to be involved in anything, right? He was just driving by. But we're
Yeah.
talking about people who actually witness it and not do anything. That's a different situation.
That's a different
Kind of different
situation.
situation. Yeah. And I don't know how about this. Cases, we have another one, a few other cases, like for example, Louis Albina, who was abducted as an infant. It's 6. He was abducted at 6 by
Yeah.
a woman, and we don't know if there was any witnesses, but maybe they were, but I didn't look at that. And he was missing for 73 years. And he was found by his family, by already, his adult nieces, because of the DNA test.
Yes, but it's kind of, this thing is kind of well, first of all, it has a happy ending, and we know that he actually thought that the couple that were raising him were his biological parents,
Yeah.
and as well as I read it, he had pretty normal life. He was a firefighter, so
Hmm.
it was not like he was kidnapped for some horrible things, right?
And his parents never, unfortunately,
Well, his
found this
parents, yes.
closure. Yeah, cases like this happen as well, and the kids are never discovered. Right? Some kids are
Yeah.
kidnapped and held as, their biological children, and they're never discovered. That was just a lucky case, I guess. And he found his real family. He found out he was kidnapped, but unfortunate for his parents, they didn't
Yeah,
live that long.
he even met his brother, who unfortunately died 2 months later. But he had this meeting with his very close family, and he found the place he was actually belonged to.
Yeah, yeah, it's very good story for him, um, but not for his parents, because his parents left knowing that their child is, missing. It's never the hole, never disappeared from their hearts. It was
Yeah.
always a hole in their hearts. Um, but yeah, that's at least that child wasn't tortured.
Let's talk about Josef Fritzl, the one who
Oh yeah,
actually,
yeah, yeah.
from Austria, the one from
Mm-hmm.
Austria who is very famous, famously bad father, famously horrible father, who actually kidnapped his own daughter and kept her in his basement, and she bore children from him. She was
Yeah,
living downstairs, and her mother actually lived upstairs, and she didn't know anything.
yeah. That's absolutely insane. Just thinking about it, about her mother being so, I don't know if she was, I remember watching a movie about it, and they didn't show mother as a concerned parent, because she thinks her daughter ran away, right? Something like
Yeah.
that. She thought her daughter was alive, so she wasn't really concerned. And she got letters from her daughter from time to time, so I'm sure she missed her daughter, but she didn't really made any steps to find her. But like, not knowing about it, look, your daughter literally underneath the floor where you live and sleep in that bathroom, bedroom with your husband, and your daughter is downstairs, and
I
I
wonder
don't know
what
how
she
she was after that.
no, I wonder what his wife was thinking about this person, because he had prior arrests. He assaulted um, a girl, and he spent 1.5 year in prison. He actually, after he was released from the prison, he took his very ill mother, and he put her in the attic, and it was like he actually kept her there, not letting her go. So he had this history of very violent and odd behavior. And it's
Yeah,
kind of odd to think that this woman was living with him, and neighbors thought that he was a pretty nice guy and everything.
yeah.
How can we as as people, as humans, cannot see something evil
There
right?
had to be signs, right? There had to be some kind of signs that he's a little
Yeah,
bit not there, that he's narcissistic and everything. She probably
yeah.
was a very damaged person, probably like
And
psychologically.
that, and also that he actually assaulted his daughter, like when she was only 11 years old first. And didn't mother see any signs at all?
I don't believe that, honestly. I just don't believe that. There's a lot of cases like this, and a lot of mothers claims that they never seen anything, they didn't know about the situation, and then we found out from kids that actually told their mothers, and their mothers choose to ignore it or tell them that they don't believe them, or stuff
Well,
like that.
that is my thoughts exactly on this particular case. I don't think
Mm-hmm.
that the mother didn't know. I think that she, maybe she wasn't told directly, but she could not know, not hear, noises and voices. She
What
Elizabeth
about
bore
food?
three
He had to take
children,
food. Yeah.
and yeah, she had three children from her father.
Like he had to
And
take food downstairs, feed them, I mean, clean the toilet, and stuff would go up and down. Like he would
yeah,
have to bring stuff out from the basement, take stuff to the basement. Like she would probably have some questions, right? It's
24
just,
years being
yeah,
locked away in the basement, not having any opportunity to leave, not having any opportunity to just escape.
3 children, right? 3 children she had.
Three
That's
children she
insane.
had with a monster who,
They're
had
toddlers for
si-
allowed. They're all boys, right?
yeah,
3 boys.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Impossible. I don't believe she didn't know about it. I have a lot of doubts. I don't know how protective, soundproof would be that basement. Still,
No,
when
two boys and one girl.
2 boys and 1 girl. Yeah,
Yeah.
the boys are loud, and even though if you tell them to be quiet when they were infants, you cannot shut down the infant. The infant is screaming and crying. And the basement probably was soundproof, but I don't know how much can you soundproof it for years, for
I
so
don't
many
know.
years. And the
Well,
door opens and
yeah.
closes, sound comes out. She
Well,
probably
yeah.
would go down to the basement.
Yeah, I think that, like, there was told that he actually took the kids and choreographed, like, they were left by mother, and he was such a great grandfather that he let those
Oh,
kids live in.
they left upstairs, the kids,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah,
Oh, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. Okay,
Not
okay.
from the
They didn't.
start, not from the start, of course.
Mm-hmm.
So they had to kind of be a little bit grown up. So then he took them upstairs.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, come on. They didn't tell her, the grandchildren, where they lived before, ever, that they were here, right here downstairs with their mom. I don't
yes,
think
and
so.
I
She's
don't.
evil. She's just as evil.
Yes, well, yeah, I think so too. But the point that he was 73 years old when he was
Mm-hmm.
convicted, and
Mm-hmm.
he had life in prison, but he had 73 years of normal life, where while his daughter was actually not having any life at all for 24 years.
No, she
And the
was
way
just
that
like worse than an animal living.
and the point that he would spend his last years in prison, it's not very uplifting at all, because 73 years of free life and doing whatever he wanted to.
Yeah, and did his wife go to prison? Probably not, right?
No,
Because she didn't know anything about it, right? Yeah. Yeah,
no.
she's absolutely evil, and like, yeah, if you think about it, like I didn't think about it, but if you think about it, The kids, okay, started living upstairs, the grandchildren. She had to
Mm-hmm.
talk to them, right? She had to like ask them questions. How was your, when you lived somewhere else, how was that life, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did you go to school? Did you have any friends? Like, where did you live? They probably told her we lived in a basement, grandma, with our mom.
I'm I'm sorry. She didn't have 3 kids from him. She had 6 kids from him.
And the other three died.
No, 3 kids were living with her, and other lived upstairs.
Okay, she had to know. Like, there's no freaking way in hell she did not know about it. I don't believe for a second. I don't believe for a second. This woman was just evil,
Mm-hmm.
just as him, to let that happen. Crazy,
Yeah.
crazy. And she actually didn't admit it. She didn't admit that she knew and she was weak and,
No, no,
apologized.
she did not.
She
She did not.
saved her butt. She wanted to save her butt and she lied. That's the only thing. And how can you prove, right? Unless you read her mind. And or her
Well,
grandchildren told her like, yeah, we told grandma that our mom is still here downstairs and
yeah.
our brothers and sisters are still downstairs.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's true.
No one.
That's true.
She didn't share with anyone. Maybe she didn't, but she knew it, and she deserved also her time in prison, and I don't know, be convicted and horrible, horrible story. So that just shows that we shouldn't trust anyone. That the mother, kind babushka Spivakov, right? Spivakov's mama, who helped him with everything, or this woman who knew that her daughter was down living in her basement, locked, and she probably looked like a very nice old lady, but she
Well,
wasn't.
of course. Of course she did. Of course.
Yeah, so you shouldn't trust anyone. You shouldn't help me. See, that's what teaches us not to help other people. Don't, help that grandma to carry her groceries to her house because there could be someone who will be you and put you in the basement or worse. Oh my god,
You
it's
see,
crazy.
you see, Spesivцев, not Spivakov, Spesivцев.
Specific,
This
okay.
case, yeah,
Spivakov was the
this case,
singers.
this case is really telling you to be very like always on a high alert. And even if someone that doesn't look very harmful will try to make you help them, just be clever. Don't deny help, but like don't do it yourself. Ask strangers, a grown up man to do it, or something like this. Just don't get yourself involved in a situation when you potentially might be hurt. That's
Yeah,
not for kids only, but it's also for grown up people too. Like, yes, when I was a little girl, I was taught to help old people. I was taught to help like mothers with kids and everything because you have to be a good polite girl, and if someone asks for your help, give the help, but just be very smart not to get involved into something very horrible. It's like it's two things on a completely different spectrums, like help but not get involved, and
yeah,
you have to balance, and you really have to think twice about doing something yourself.
yeah.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
have to
I
be
remember.
creative.
I just remember a story. When we lived in a complex, like it was an apartment complex, and my daughter
Mm-hmm.
was about, I don't know, 13, 14, maybe even younger. She told me this story. When she started walking with the dog, she probably was 13 because our dog was like, she walked you. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they were younger because they would fly around with after our dog. But anyway, she took the dog out and she said a man approached her and told her to like ask her to come with him because he was going to show her some plants and some in his apartment, and she didn't go, thank god. She said no and she went home, and I'm like, oh my god, where do you remember where this man went, like, because
Mm-hmm.
he lived somewhere in our community. She didn't remember anything, but he probably wasn't going to show her plants, my guess.
But you know what? Every time when I hear those stories, I want to show you
It's so
kittens. I
scary.
want to show you plants. I want to show you puppies and everything. You can actually, 99% think that this person is a creep.
Yeah, absolutely.
No grown up, no adult in his right mind would actually want to show some random kid a
Mm-hmm.
kitten.
Yeah,
Why would he? Why would
yeah.
he?
So and we teach our kids from the very young age to not talk to strangers, not follow strangers. But she
I don't
wasn't even
really
that young.
I don't really think that right now there's a lot of stories about showing puppies or whatever. Right now we have completely different things. It is an internet like chats, where those creeps impersonate or pretend to be a little kid or a teenager. They would try to
Mm-hmm.
have a little interaction with a girl or a boy, and then they will ask them to go out, like to hang out in the mall or something. This is also a scary thing because you don't know who's out there, like
Yeah,
behind the screen. Yeah.
and
So
kids
right
go.
now, yeah, so right now we really everyone, not just kids, but everyone should be very really careful of not someone showing you puppies, but someone asking you out, like after meeting you in a
Actually,
group
your
chat
age, actually,
or
like yeah, like a
yeah,
boyfriend,
yeah,
potential boyfriend with a pretty picture. Like there's a cute boy or a cute girl, because boys are lured too. But
yeah.
it's an
Well,
old creep.
actually, about internet, like I know that you have this that you were on the app, on the dating app. How do you know who you talk to?
Of course I don't. Of course I don't.
Yeah,
That's why I
are
never
just
exchange numbers. Never exchange
okay.
numbers until I meet a person in real life. Yeah, I stay very vigilant of it. I'm afraid that some people don't, and they exchange numbers like right away, and they talk on the phone. That's probably one of the ways to
Mm-hmm.
confirm that they're a sexual person. But to me, it's I don't do that because they can find my address through my phone,
Yeah.
and like you never know, and show up somewhere in front of my front door. So I don't want to do that.
And what's the
But
first meeting for you? What's the first meeting for you? Is this like in the evening or during the day? I understand
usually
that it's
during
a
the day, like coffee,
yeah,
public
coffee
place. It has
time.
to be a public place,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely. And yeah, and it's also not a guarantee. It's also
Of
not a
course.
guarantee, absolutely. No, you do what you do. You're trying to be as careful as possible and hope for the best. Hope not to
Yeah.
come over the creep. And but stories, we know stories online happen, and there are movies about it, about meeting people on dating sites and what they actually turn to be in real life.
Yeah.
So just I think for that kind of app, it just you have to take your time and go slow, not try
Go
to
slow.
get
Yeah.
into like people's houses in the first
Yeah.
date.
Well, let's talk about the case that actually happened before internet, before cell phones and everything. It's the one and only case that we can actually say famous, not only
Yeah.
because of this case, but also because of the book that potentially could be written based on the character, Sally
Yes.
Hornet. Yeah,
Sally Horner, yeah, became a very famous Nabokov's book Lolita, also a
yeah,
movie based on character, not just
based
or
on
case
yeah,
as well. Character and the case. A lot of people accuse Nabokov of being, that kind of person, right? Who actually
a lot
lied
of
kids
people
in that
accuse
way.
yes, well, a lot of people accuse Lewis Carroll of being this also because of his friendship with Alice, but let's
Hmm.
not go
Yeah,
deep in this because we don't know anything about this particular side of those people, right?
yeah. But if people knew that actually it was a real case,
Yeah.
maybe it will ease them down from thinking that, right?
Yes. Yeah.
But yeah, you can't stop people from thinking all kind of stuff. But yes, it's was a young girl who was kidnapped, and she was released later. I don't know how many years. I don't think it was years. I think it was like
She was kept. She was
months.
kept for. She was kept for 21 months.
So
21
okay,
months.
so okay, over
Yeah,
over a year, almost 2 years. But she kind of like she fell in love. It's a Stockholm syndrome, right? She fell in love
Stockholm.
basically
Yes,
with
yes,
her kidnapper, and it happens a lot in situations like this in Australia. I think it was a situation like that. There's something to talk about. We're not going to talk about her because we want to do it next time. Because there's
yes. We're
a
going.
lot of cases like this, a lot of books.
We are going to make a real deep dive on in this particular story. So, Florence Sally Horner, she lived only 15 years. She died in August 1952, and she actually left this particular, you know, she has a place in people's heart, not only because of the things that she lived through, but also because of the book. A lot of things happening, a lot of talks happening about this whole situation about Stockholm syndrome. This is a story that shocked the world and still shocking the world when you read
Yeah.
about it or when you read the novel Lalita.
Hmm.
So I think that to actually understand Lalita, it's not enough to watch the movie. You have to read it, of course.
Yeah, I was thinking about it. I might reread Lolita because it's a really good book. I read it long time ago. I think I need to.
It's not my
Nabokov is,
favorite.
yeah, it's not favorite, but he's a good writer. He's really
He's a
good
good
writer.
writer. Yes, he is a
Yeah,
good writer. Yes,
yeah.
yes.
He became
So
famous for a reason.
so
Yeah, that's
uh
it.
leave us a comment. What do you think about this whole situation with kidnappings, with missing people, not just kids, with missing people? Can we avoid it? Can we live freely, knowing that such things happening?
How can we help?
Uh,
Can we help? What do we do if we see something like
yeah,
that? Right? How do we get involved without actually putting ourselves in dangerous situation? Right? Because we don't want
yeah.
that. Yeah,
Maybe we shouldn't
and
even think about this and just live our life, the way it is,
ignore everything.
and
Yeah,
ignore everything. Yes.
and hope it's
So
not gonna happen to you.
not gonna
Because it can
happen to
happen to
you, not gonna
anyone, and no
happen
one
to
is gonna
me, not
help.
gonna happen to anyone. And I really hope that there gonna be this, time where people would just be able to just live, love, you know, and not be aware and not be scared of things like this happening. So
I'm
for the
very
next
pessimistic. I'm
oh,
very
I'm the
pessimistic.
optimistic one. I'm the optimistic one.
I
So
don't
for
believe
the
it's gonna
next
happen.
time, for the next time we're gonna meet, we will talk about this particular case and Nabokov, Lalita, and
And other book
Sally
characters.
Horner, and another book characters, and also Sally Horner. So, do you know some other stories like that we were, talked today? Maybe you can give us names, and we will look them up too.
And what do you think about like deep diving into psychology of these people who potentially knew and say we couldn't do anything? We didn't know. Like you also can write us some comments and state your opinion. What do you think? Did this wife, for example, knew that her daughter or mom was living in that basement? Do you think she
Yes.
knew or not?
So be alert, stay safe, and live happy life.
Yes, and
Bye.
see you next time. Bye bye.
See you next time.